Judges and lawyers are destroying our country. And just want to talk a little bit about that and some details that I continue to see and I've seen through basically the last decade of all that has happened to my family and I. But before that, I want to show you a little project I'm working on. I'm getting ready to paint this 67 Chevy Nova. That's my project today. I'm going to paint it and clear it. I've been preparing for this day for a while. This vehicle is a customer of mine who lives in the adjacent town from me, and this is a family car that he's had for a while. It's been in his family for some time now, and he brought it to me to restore. Of course, I've gone through it from one end to the next, put new steering, all new powertrain, brakes, suspension, and now I'm to the point where I'm getting ready to paint it. And I had to put it on hold because these attacks from judges and lawyers are real, and from massive institutions that have the same agenda as them are very real. And I had to stop. I almost was not able to finish this job because I had to stop and defend my family. And I was going to move, as you may know, and leave Idaho. And the morning of the moving trucks were coming and our house was half boxed up, I felt I got some clear direction from the Lord that I was not supposed to move, that I was supposed to stay and fight. And so I talked to my customer and said, hey, it looks like I can finish this, and I've been working on it, and now is a big day. I'm going to paint it. But before that, I wanted to just tell you I get up every morning early, most mornings, and I'm going through the trial transcripts of when they convicted me of $52 million. Diego and I have $52 million in damages to St. Luke's Hospital for speaking out against them in taking baby Cyrus, Diego's grandson. And one of the things that's very interesting is that so far I've gone through, almost 3 days of trial proceedings and witnesses. And the CEO, Chris Roth, has testified and lied on the stand, and I'm going to show that to you in a previous video. We've also seen where many times the FBI has been referenced as pushing the buttons. And just as a side note, if you want to know and understand what's happening to President Trump, then just look at what's happening to me. Because it's happening to me, seems like just right before, and then they'll do similar things or almost exact same things to President Trump. And the reason why that is because this is the FBI playbook. And the FBI are pushing the buttons here, and they're also pushing the buttons on President Trump. And it is political prosecution to destroy enemies that they're frightened of. And, I don't think I oppose as much threat as President Trump. I'm not trying to say that. But the mentality that an individual can rally people and get people to not comply and be obedient to the agenda that these lawyers, judges, and bureaucrats are trying to push upon us, that is dangerous and threatening to them, and they say it. And so therefore the playbook to destroy people like Donald Trump and myself is the same, and it's coming from the same people. So anyway, back to the trial proceedings. One thing that I see that is very consistent in these proceedings is the attempt to demonize me and people's rights. And I just find that so interesting. They keep referencing that we're a white supremacist group, Christian nationalist white supremacist group. And that, as anybody who knows about people's rights knows, that is completely inaccurate and wrong. But they have to, political warfare is to demonize, to isolate, demonize, and then destroy. And so that's what they're doing. They try to isolate an individual or a group of people where they cannot communicate, they cannot get the word out to people, and then they demonize them as something, that is scary. In this case, they're trying to equivocate us with white nationalists and white supremacists to the jury. And that couldn't be more from the truth. In fact, did I not get a ton of scrutiny and pushback when I tried to reach out to people in Black Lives Matter, not the organization, just to the people in the organization or in the, I guess, the umbrella of Black Lives Matter, trying to reach out to them and express to them that the organization was a wicked organization. Why would I, if I hate black people, try to reach out to black people and say, look, the Black Lives Matter organization is not what you think it is, and I believe that together we could do a lot of good. Why would I do that if I hate black people, if my agenda is white supremacy? And the other thing that is so vile when it comes to Eric Stidham, the lead attorney in this case, and the witnesses, in particular, Dave Burkhart, who's with some organization, but he's an expert witness. They're calling him in as an expert witness. And he's laying this foundation that I'm a white supremacist and people's rights, and all the people in the people's rights are white supremacists, and that's our agenda, and that's what we're trying to push. They make sure that through the entire testimony, which now is going on for 2 days, in their entire testimony, they make sure that they never tell the jury. They reference the baby that was being taken, very little, just to their advantage. But they never mention that the baby was Diego Rodriguez's grandson, one of the people that they're suing. They never mention that. That's not a coincidence. They for sure do not want the jury to know that one of the very people that they're demonizing and that they're suing was the grandfather of the baby that was taken. They want to keep that separate because they don't want the jury to know that the grandfather stood up for his grandson when this wicked thing happened to him where the state and the hospital took the baby. And I just think, don't you think that the jury should know that St. Luke's is suing the grandfather of the baby that they participated in taking? Also, don't you think that the jury, because they never mention this, they just say that I'm a white supremacist, that people's rights is a white supremacy group. They never mention that, even though by name it should be obvious, but they never mention that the baby is of Hispanic descent. So here we are, this terrible white supremacist group that is so terrible, Christian nationalist, white supremacist, racist group. Here we are, all unified and standing to defend a Hispanic family and them taking a Hispanic baby from his mother and from his father. Does that sound like... you can't make this stuff up, right? Does that sound like we're a bunch of white supremacists that hate black people and hate Hispanics and hate everybody but the white race? Yet that's what they're presenting to the jury. And that's what Judge Baskin has allowed. And I don't think that, at least at this point in the transcript, I don't think that she has intentionally done this, but she has allowed ultimately them to lay lies, and they're very significant lies to the jury. They're not in any way the truth, and I'm preparing a video to basically impeach this. I mean, the flat lies that Chris Roth, the CEO, has said, that David Burkhart has said, that Dr. Rachel Thomas has said, that Dr. Natasha Erickson has said. That's a significant one because they based the entire lawsuit off of some of the things that were said by Dr. Erickson or denied by Dr. Erickson when she absolutely did these things. And I'll present this. I don't want to present them right now because I'm just wanting to give you an update. But if you look at what's happening to President Trump, if you look at what's happening to me and my family, if you look at what is happening to anybody across the country who has had a significant voice in bringing people to truth, you will see that it is the lawyers, the judges, and the bureaucrats that have united against these people and are destroying them through the legal process. They're abusing the legal process. And they will use this process to completely destroy people like me, President Trump. I could go on. Alex Jones, Tucker Carlson. Another good one is the Jordan Peterson. Jordan Peterson. I mean, these are just a few, and you could go and look how this is an assault on these individuals, including myself, all across the United States and into even Canada. You will see that there's an attack, and it's the same playbook. And this is no coincidence. This is a deliberate attack on those who rally people to the truth, and they oppose this truth. Now, to the point I want to make, and then I'll wrap this up. These individuals, these judges, lawyers, and bureaucrats who have taken control of our government and are now far above us, and I say that meaning because they have control of the force of law, they do not believe that we as people have a right to challenge them. And I see this all through this court proceedings. They're laying a foundation that people like myself and those in people's rights, people like President Trump, Donald Trump, and others, do not have a right to challenge them. That we do not have a right to define what our rights are. That we do not have a right to oppose them. And that the only way that should be done is in the court. Now, the problem with that is the judges and the lawyers are corrupt. And I'm just going to make one point to show you how our laws have been corrupted by lawyers. And I'm going to use Idaho as an example. So I was looking for the definition of Idaho of what a crime was. And it was applicable to some of the things I was doing to build a defense and so forth. And I went to the statutes of Idaho, and I found, and it's almost unbelievable to me, but I found that the definition of a crime in Idaho is anything that the state punishes you for. So, I dumbed it down, but that's basically, I paraphrased it, but that is the definition of a crime in Idaho. Think about that. Anything that the state punishes you with. Now, let me just show you how our law, and that was put into place by judges and lawyers. Now, I know our legislature here in Idaho must not be very smart to allow that to be put in the statutes, but it was all proposed and put in there and manipulated by lawyers. That it was. Now, think of that definition. a crime in Idaho, and I imagine the other states are the same because I imagine the lawyers have worked it into most every state that is the definition of crime. Now, I say that not knowing, but I do know in Idaho it is. Now, imagine how things have changed because our founders believed that a crime was the infringement upon life, liberty, and property. When somebody else infringed upon another person's life, liberty, or property, that was the definition of a crime. That was a criminal. And now they have changed it. It's been deteriorated and corrupted to the point where a crime is anything that the state punishes you with. Think about that corruption and deterioration, and think about what that does to individual people like myself or like the Andersons when their baby is taken. It's not a crime to take a baby. It's not a crime to hurt anybody. It's not a crime to take property. It's not a crime to take liberty. It's just a crime if the state punishes you. And it doesn't matter what it's for. It doesn't matter what it's for. It doesn't, matter what the person did. It doesn't matter if there was a victim or not a victim. It doesn't matter his actions, nothing. The only thing that matters is if the state punished him for it. And that puts the state at the top. See, there's no morality in it. There's no right or wrong in it. It just means if the state were able to find you guilty of something and they punished you for it, then that's a crime. And that's the problem. I hope you can see what I'm saying. You can see the deterioration of the whole purpose of government, which was to protect life, liberty, and property, and those who infringe upon it. And you can see that they don't attack those who infringe upon life, liberty, or property. They just attack or use the state as the supremacy here. And it's a complete deterioration of our rights, and I hope you can see it. It's what we are battling against. And there's wicked people like these judges and these lawyers. And, I'm not saying that all judges and lawyers are wicked. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that the whole system and what they're pushing is not good for the people. It is very detrimental to us because our life, our liberties, and our properties are at great, great risk, which is the whole purpose in which government was founded, and also which protects us from wicked people. But they have turned it upside down. And so I really want to make that point. I'm looking forward to painting this car today. As you know, they've seized my assets, and they're trying to take all my property from me. They're trying to take my liberty. And the reason they are doing that is because I have opposed them in the taking of this little baby. These are wicked people. The definition of a wicked are those who disregard the laws of God and the righteous laws of our government. And those righteous laws are defined by life, liberty, and property, and not by whatever the state says is wrong or right. So anyway, hopefully that makes sense. I hope you have a good day, and maybe when I get this done, I'll show you what it looks like. Thank you.